Hi everyone, my name is Ral Obioha. I'm the principal attorney at Ral Obioha Law. Our principal office is in Houston, Texas. We practice immigration law, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about the new public charge rule. I know I've released a previous video. I also had some interviews with Fox News and some other news outlets about public charge rule in October 2019 when it was first announced. But now I just want to touch on it a little bit because I've been getting a lot of DMs, a lot of emails about what it really means and what the implications are now that we're actually seeing it in practice. As you know, the new public charge rule is a new immigration policy that went into place. It became effective in February 24th, 2020. And since then, it's become this huge dark cloud over a lot of immigration petitions, especially the adjustment of status application, which is a very popular application for those who want to change their status from non-immigrant status to permanent residency status while in the U.S. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that. The public charge rule, and I just wanted to touch on it because there are a lot of misconceptions around about the public charge rule out there. And I just wanted to touch on one little thing that I think that can shed a lot of light on what it really means. Now, as spoken about before, the public charge rule takes away, before it was when you file an AOS application, they're looking at if you can afford something, they're looking at the immigrant, and so they're looking at the sponsor and the joint sponsor. But with the public charge rule, the focus is now on the immigrant. Okay, they're trying to figure out, is the immigrant ever going to be a public liability to the United States government? Are you going to seek public benefits? Are you ever going to be in a situation where you can't take care of yourself? So it's a 7-factor test. And the 7 factors that they consider is it's a lot of balancing that has to take place. And this is why it's become important more than ever that when you are filing for adjustment of status, that you're actually doing an attorney, who can look at the immigrant status and look at the immigrant's life and basically, analyze the situation, weigh all the factors. There's no hard and fast rule to the public charge rule. There really isn't. I mean, we haven't seen it, if there is. And right now, it's a lot of balancing of factors. Is this person going to be a liability? And it's actually a discretionary thing. So it puts a lot of power in the hands of the officer who is reviewing it. So that's why it's important that a lawyer actually looks at these things, looks at the immigrant and their factors, and then determines what can they do to empower the application, what can they do to make the immigrant look stronger, and less of a public, and show less chances of being a public liability. So the 7 factors are age, health, family status, finances, and finances include like resources and assets. What assets does the immigrant have? Fourth is education and skills. What education and skills does the immigrant have? Fifth is, what kind of status are you actually looking for? Sixth is, how long do you really intend to be in the United States? Are you going to be here permanently? Are you just going to be something you do temporarily and leave? And then lastly is like, how much money does your petitioning sponsor have? So as I said before, this last factor, which is factor number 7 right now, used to be the only factor that mattered. What is, how much does the petitioning sponsor earn? And if they don't earn that much, somebody can step in as a joint sponsor and sponsor them. But you see that now is actually one of the 7 factors, no longer the only factor with the new public charge rule. So there are things that could have negative impact on the application. There are things that have positive impact on the application. But just that it revolves around the 7 factors that I've just discussed. How old is the immigrant? What kind of potential does the immigrant have to earn money in the United States? How much money does the immigrant even have? Do they have assets back home that they can sell if they ever in a bind, instead of depending on the U.S. government? What are their skills? When they come here, they're going to be of use to the United States. And so these are all things that really, really matter. As you know, but for example, if an immigrant is educated outside, I'm giving it it's a freebie, but one of the things that can look good is when you do when your attorney does some kind of equivalency certification on the degree. What's the degree going to mean in the U.S.? Is the degree going to be any use to the immigrant in the U.S.? And it's not about even riches. Finance is one of the factors, but you can be poor and have ability to make a lot of money as an immigrant in the United States. So this is something to consider. And so, people ask me all the time, I need a joint sponsor. Is that a nail in my deathbed in order to have, to overcome this public charge rule? And that's not true. There are a lot of factors. Like I said, it's a balancing thing. It's as they say in the legal field, it's a test of totality of the circumstances. How does this immigrant present? Okay, how does this immigrant look? Are they going to be a liability, or are they going to be an asset? And it's left to your lawyer to be able to highlight the factors that show that the immigrant is going to be an asset to the United States and not a liability, and then kind of downplay anything else that does not look good. So, it's more important now more than ever that, anybody seeking to adjust status in the United States that's subject to this rule is, seeks a lawyer who actually understands the public charge rule and is able to advise accordingly and put an application together that highlights why this immigrant should not be barred based on the public charge rule. All right, guys, I hope that this has helped you today. And if you have any questions, please contact my office at 832-569-1110. I'll be happy to consult with you and talk over your case with you and see how you qualify for adjustment of status, and also advise you about the public charge rule and how we can help you overcome any kind of presumptions of liability that USCIS may have by looking at applications. Don't take your chances, okay? This is a serious rule that is being implemented right now. So do the right thing and hire a lawyer to help you. Again, this is Ral Obioha of Ral Obioha Law, and you can reach us at 832-569-1110. Have a great day.